Alright, here's where it gets tricky. These protests aren't happening in a vacuum. They're happening while the federal government is shut down. For over 2 weeks, Congress has been gridlocked over a funding bill. Democrats say Trump is holding the government hostage to push executive power. Republicans say Democrats are refusing to negotiate. And Trump's team, they've dismissed the No Kings movement as anti-American theater. Which, let's be honest, is kinda ironic, because if there's one thing America is known for, it's theater. But this protest is about more than one issue. It's about people saying, hey, this administration is deploying troops on US soil and ramping up ICE raids. Is this still democracy, or are we inching to a monarchy? Hence the name, No Kings. Now, Trump supporters argue the president's just enforcing law and order, not seizing power. They say these protests are media-fueled hysteria. And here's the truth. Both sides have a point worth hearing. Protesters are exercising their democratic right. Supporters are asking for respect for elected authority. That's America in a nutshell. A never-ending tug-of-war between freedom and control. While protests were lighting up the East Coast, something wild was happening out west. California Governor Gavin Newsom had to close part of Interstate 5 near Camp Pendleton because the Marines were holding live-fire demonstrations for their 250th anniversary. Yeah, they were literally firing artillery over a highway. The governor's office said it was too dangerous and would distract drivers. Trump's vice president, J.D. Vance, attended the event. He is the first Marine VP in U.S. history. Newsom said, firing live rounds over a busy highway isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. Which, yeah, you think. Imagine trying to explain your insurance company, no, my windshield didn't crack, the Marine Corps did. Here's what's clear. The No Kings protests aren't just about Trump, they're about American anxiety. People are exhausted by shutdowns, political division, and the sense that democracy feels fragile. Remember, this same movement started back in June, after the first wave of troop deployments in Democratic states. Since then, the protests have only grown, not faded. That tells you something. It's not just political, it's existential. It's people saying, we are supposed to be democracy. We can't just give that up, even if you're scared. And that's the interesting paradox of democracy. It's messy, loud, and sometimes ridiculous, but it survives because people keep showing up. Now let's zoom out. Whether you love Trump or can't stand him, one thing's undeniable. He's reshaping how Americans view power. For his supporters, he's a strong hand America needs. For his critics, he's proved that unchecked power corrodes democracy. But here's the kicker. Both sides are participating in democracy, one by governing, the other by resisting. That's how it's supposed to work. When citizens stop protesting, stop questioning power, that's when you really lose freedom. So in a strange way, the No Kings rallies are proof that democracy is still alive. Bruised, sure. Exhausted, absolutely. But alive.